Washington, D.C. buzzed with an energy that felt almost unreal. The city's familiar monuments and marble facades seemed to shimmer with anticipation, as if the entire capital had been transformed for one extraordinary night. I stood outside the Trump Kennedy Center, where the world premiere of a film unlike any other was about to begin. A $40 million Amazon-funded documentary that had already sparked controversy and curiosity in equal measure. The building glowed under spotlights, its entrance flanked by towering banners and a sea of velvet ropes, as if the city itself was rolling out the red carpet for history in the making. The red carpet shimmered beneath the flash of cameras, and fans in MAGA chic attire pressed eagerly against the barricades, their faces alight with excitement. The air was thick with anticipation, every conversation buzzing with speculation about what the night would bring. This wasn't just a movie premiere, it was a pilgrimage for true believers, a celebration of a woman they'd already crowned iconic. For many, it felt like a coronation, a moment to witness history and be part of something larger than themselves. The spectacle was overwhelming. Velvet ropes, champagne, and a sense of importance that insulated everyone from the world outside. The atmosphere was electric, with guests exchanging knowing glances and whispered predictions about the film's impact. My goal tonight was simple, yet daunting. To understand why this film, why now, and why such extravagance? What did this moment mean to those who had gathered, and what did it say about the world beyond these velvet ropes? Attendees didn't care about the cost. They were here for the magic, the mystique, the myth. For them, this was more than entertainment. It was affirmation, a chance to celebrate a narrative they cherished. Photos were snapped, smiles unwavering, faith absolute. The cameras captured not just faces, but a sense of unity and shared purpose that pulsed through the crowd. Tonight, the outside world's problems didn't matter. Inside these walls, reality was suspended, replaced by a collective dream that everyone seemed eager to share. This was about Melania, her journey, her legend, and the story they wanted to believe. For one night, at least, the myth was real, and the red carpet led not just to a film, but to an alternate reality where hope and spectacle reigned supreme. The film itself? Minimalist to the extreme. Every frame is stripped down, almost bare, as if the absence of detail is meant to be profound. The silence lingers, the camera lingers, and the audience is left to fill in the blanks with their own imagination. For nearly 2 hours, we watch Melania walk into rooms, out of rooms, onto planes, out of cars. High drama, apparently. Each entrance and exit is treated like a royal procession, with the camera lingering on every calculated step. The world around her is a blur, the focus always on her poised silhouette, her enigmatic expression. There's a sense that every movement is a statement, every glance a carefully curated moment for the audience to interpret. The $40 million price tag was met with shrugs. To these fans, the money was a tribute, not a bribe. The red carpet buzzed with anticipation, not skepticism. For them, the lavish spending was simply the cost of honoring someone they saw as iconic. They're already wealthy, one attendee reasoned, dismissing any notion of financial influence. To question the motives behind the film's funding was to miss the point entirely, at least in their eyes. The budget wasn't questioned, it was proof of Melania's worth. The gold-plated invitations, the exclusive screenings, these were not excesses, but evidence of her elevated status, a testament to her allure. The film was described as a classic immigrant story, yet also a tale of someone who already had everything. It was both a celebration of the American dream and a portrait of privilege, a paradox that seemed to only add to the mystique. The narrative was whatever viewers needed it to be, a blank canvas for their hopes and ideals. Some saw inspiration, others saw aspiration, and a few saw only a carefully constructed fantasy. The film's emptiness became its greatest strength, inviting projection and devotion in equal measure. To question the cost was heresy. The money was the price of manufacturing a legend. Dissent was drowned out by the spectacle, and skepticism was met with polite indifference. The film's real purpose, to polish a legacy until it blinded you to any doubts. Every award, every glowing review, every glimmering frame was another layer of varnish on a carefully crafted myth. It was an investment in myth-making, not movie-making. The spectacle was the story, and the story was whatever the audience needed it to be. The audience didn't want complexity, They wanted affirmation. They came for reassurance, for a reflection of their own ideals, and left with their beliefs burnished and unchallenged. And Amazon delivered, in high definition. The myth was streamed into living rooms everywhere, polished and pristine, ready for the next believer to press play. For these attendees, was more than a film, it was a movement. "This is not a movie," one woman declared. "This is a movement." The specifics were vague, but the passion was real. The premiere was their Woodstock, Melania, their icon of grace and strength. The film was seen as a necessary correction to hostile media, a chance for the real Melania to be seen. Complexity wasn't the goal, affirmation was. Melania's quiet demeanor was recast as profound strength, her silence as dignity. This was collective myth-making, elevating her to cultural icon status. The energy was infectious. These weren't just moviegoers, but disciples. They came for validation, to see their worldview reflected and celebrated. For them, this film wasn't just a story, it was the story. Every legend needs a director, and for stakers, it was Brett Ratner, controversial, accused, and to this crowd, untouchable. His past allegations didn't matter here, attendees dismissed them outright. "He's a fantastic director," one woman insisted, waving away any concerns. The logic was simple. Declare the opposite of the facts, and move on. Ratner's talent was all that counted. His controversies were irrelevant noise. In this world, accusations against one of ours were seen as attacks from outsiders. To question Ratner was to question the movement itself. Selective reality was the rule. Embrace the narrative. Discard the inconvenient. Ratner was their guy, making their movie. End of discussion. The contradiction celebrating a powerful woman via a problematic man wasn't a bug, but a feature. Here, loyalty trumped logic. Just as I thought I'd grasped the night's themes, a new one emerged, the reclamation of the divine feminine. Melania, I was told, embodied a lost grace and femininity. Her quiet elegance was spiritual, almost sacred. The film was reframed as scripture, not documentary. A guide for women to reclaim traditional roles. This was a brand of empowerment that didn't challenge the system, but perfected one's place within it. Many women resonated with this vision, seeing modern feminism as too aggressive. Melania's power was in her silence, her beauty, her support. The irony of Brett Ratner directing this divine narrative was lost on everyone. Contradictions were easily absorbed. The story was what mattered. Tonight, a $40 million movie about a billionaire's wife was recast as a spiritual event. Outside the Trump-Kennedy Center, America's affordability crisis raged on. The city's lights sparkled, but just beyond the glow, the reality was far less glamorous. On the sidewalks, people bundled up against the cold, some clutching bags of groceries they could barely afford, others simply trying to find a place to sleep. The contrast between the world inside and outside the venue was impossible to ignore. People struggled with gas, groceries, and rent, but inside, only Melania's image was being inflated. The disconnect was staggering. While families counted every dollar, the red carpet rolled out for a celebration of luxury and image. The gap between the everyday American and the elite inside the Kennedy Center felt like a canyon, one that was growing wider by the minute. I tried to bring up real-world issues, Minneapolis unrest, global crises, but was met with indifference. The headlines scrolled by on phones, but barely registered. It was as if the pain and chaos outside these walls belonged to another universe, one that could be switched off with a swipe or a sigh. "You can't believe everything you see," one woman said, dismissing disturbing news as fake. Her words echoed a sentiment I heard again and again. If the news was too upsetting, it simply couldn't be true. It was easier to doubt reality than to let it intrude on the evening's festivities. The solution to suffering? Ignore it and watch the right movie. For many, the theater offered a sanctuary, a place where the world's problems faded into the background, replaced by laughter, applause, and the comfort of a shared story. The film was more than entertainment. It was a prescription for national happiness. It promised hope, pride, and a sense of belonging, even as the world outside seemed to unravel. This wasn't just a party, it was a fortress against bad news. Security guards and velvet ropes kept the troubles of the world at bay, creating a bubble where only celebration was allowed. Attendees weren't denying problems, they just chose to invest their energy elsewhere. For a few hours, they could pretend that everything was fine, that the world outside didn't matter. They clung to a narrative that made them feel good, proud, and safe. It was easier to celebrate a story than to confront the uncomfortable truths waiting outside. The world could burn as long as the screen stayed beautiful. In the end, the illusion was all that mattered, a shimmering escape from a reality too harsh to face. The night was a masterclass in cognitive dissonance. Attendees championed a film about grace, made by a man accused of the opposite. They celebrated wealth and glamour while dismissing real economic pain. One woman placed her faith in a multi-million-dollar production, while doubting videos of unrest. The screen inside was truth. The screen on your phone, lies. This selective belief system was a powerful survival tool. Why grapple with complexity when you can immerse yourself in a tribute to elegance? Attendees weren't ignorant. They were disciplined, filtering reality through a lens that reinforced their worldview. This was confirmation bias in couture, a glittering victory lap for the preferred narrative. As the last guests entered, I pondered the meaning of it all. This fictional premiere was a perfect metaphor for our times: spectacle over substance, narrative over truth. We live in boutique realities, where a $40 million documentary is the ultimate accessory. The hunger for heroes and myths is deep, the allure of a simple, beautiful story is irresistible. The event was a deliberate act of turning away from the difficult, choosing the polished and perfect. Why fix the world when you can watch a movie that pretends it's already perfect? The crowd chose glamour over grit, myth over reality, and a silent femininity over progress. The credits may roll on Melania, but the real movie, our own, has just begun.